Today we're going to tackle the apple and pear pruning and sort of this jungle of mess that the winter has caused. So now's the time to get out your secateurs, and I've got a lovely new pair. They are absolutely beautiful. So I'm going to prune back the apple and pears. The cherries and the plums, don't do those until early summer. So apple and pears, they're the ones to do now. So I'm going to show you now how I do that. So this apple tree had a good pruning last year and is forming a good shape now. But the issue is it's gone to 7 foot now. And also some branches and shoots have come out and they're on the paths. So the plan is today is to take ones that are coming from the inside of the tree out that might cause possible rubbing, and also ones that will cross and go inside the tree rather than going out into a globe shape. So this branch here, it's not actually causing that much of an issue except for when I'm trying to cross in the path. So I don't want to cut it all the way right back to there, because see this bud here, this bud will cause another shoot that will go upwards. So don't do the ones that go in downwards. This one that's pointing upwards, just cut it here and that's it. This now will form a new shoot and this will go up and up to the top of the tree, and that'll be perfect then. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to lower the height of the tree as well, because we have got height restrictions on this plot as well. All through the site it needs to be about 6 foot, 7 foot. So these ones just above a bud, and I'll just take off the top. And there you have it, that tree now is all pruned back, ready for spring and summer.
Shitty car, but we hit the road. Doesn't matter where we go, and destination unknown. I don't care where the motor stops, cause when I want it, then I want it. Yeah, I want it, oh I want it, let's go. Look around, where's the people at?
So I can't actually prune the top of the tree at the moment because I haven't got my step ladders over here, but I'll come over and I'll round that off later on. But as you can see, like there's some branches here that are rubbing up against each other, and they'll have to be cut off. And afterwards, don't forget to clean your secateurs. They're one of the biggest things that people forget to do. So the best thing to do is drop 1 drop of disinfectant, such as like a pine one or bleach, into a bowl of water, give them a good clean over, dry them and leave them to dry on some paper towel, and they'll be good to go for next time. But always keep them clean. So these are the autumn fruit and raspberries that I was talking about, and these ones have died back. So all you do is chop them right back, and then they'll grow new shoots in the spring. So the good thing about the autumn fruit and raspberries is that you can just chop them right back. There's no much hassle. Like the summer ones, you need to leave last year's growth for this year's fruit, but with the autumn ones you just chop them all back, and you get the fruit a little bit later on, but it's easier. But I've got both, so it's always a job, isn't it? One thing I do want to show you though is I'm having a bit of a clean up inside the Mini Polytunnel, and I popped in some extra purple sprouting broccoli here, and also 3 oakleaf and 2 cabbage, just to see how they'd fare over winter. I mean, we've had frost, -4, and look, an oakleaf in January. So that's another job done. It's starting to clear through now. I imagine all the bark mulched down and it's starting to look lovely. I'm starting to enjoy coming back up to this area because it was so muddy and dirty, and yeah, once it's done I'll be happy and spring will be almost here. So I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to clear all the top of the plot, get all that bark out of the sacks, mulch all the paths, and then sort some of the beds out as well, because it's starting to look too tattered up there, and this is the flagship of this channel, so it needs to be up to scratch. I have concentrated on the fig and olive plot quite a bit in the last couple of weeks, and rightly so, but the Grapevine Garden needs to be a priority right now. Let's get that done. So I didn't want to bore you by showing me pulling out bark onto paths again and raking over because I've left my hoe at home. So let me show you what I've done. So as you can see, a big difference. So I've put on some of the spent compost on some of the beds. I'm going to rake that out now. This one needs a good mulch of compost now, I think, to give it a good feed. And then I've raked over these and weeded. But what a difference. These are going to need a feed as well of compost. And I've got well-rotted manure for those. But what a difference. All the paths are now barked up this area and it's ready for having a good mulch. That manure has been down there for a year rotting down, but is also 2 years old as well. So it's really good stuff now, well, I hope. And I will mulch these now, that'll be the next job. But I'm really happy, it's starting to look how it used to look, conformed and ready for spring. So one of my next jobs will also be to weed through the garlic and the strawberries. And I also put some garlic down here if you remember. But there's a couple of weeds in there now that I don't want to take over. For some reason, this garlic hasn't come through, which is a shame. I've only got 2 at the back there, but all the rest have come through. And I also got the garlic on the other plot. So it's not the end of the world, but I'm glad I did that extra garlic now, because if not, I wouldn't have had as much of a harvest that I hope to have. So I'm pleased that I got plan A and plan B, and also plan C actually. They'll also need a mulch of compost or well-rotted manure, just a light dusting on the top. The strawberries are going to start coming through before long. As you can see, there are some growth, but before long, this bed will be full of strawberries for the summer. Fingers crossed. Another job is either to dig out these raspberries, because I've got raspberries everywhere now, or tie them in. There's raspberries down here, and there, but I've also got a pile up in the fig and olive, and also a pile down there, that's the autumn fruiting as well. How many raspberries do I really need? So I think it might be a chance that I might have to give them away or tie them in. I don't know what to do. You know that guilt of being a gardener, you think, I don't want to kill a plant. We'll see what I need to do with them. While I've got my secateurs with me, I think I'll pop to the fig and olive. We are on a roll today. While I've got my secateurs on me, I think I'll pop to the fig and olive quickly, prune back all the bushes that I need to do as well, and that's another job off, another job. So I'm walking up and it's really nice to see now that other people are starting to wake up for spring and they're getting all their stuff ready, and it's really nice that they're doing that. And you know, it pushes you as well. And like, that's what I like, is that everyone starts waking up now. There are a few of us that will plod through winter and get ahead of the game, but a lot of people now have start returning to their allotments and their gardens, and will start I really need to prune that back, don't I, if I'm going to be doing these walks. But yeah, it's all starting to come alive here now. So one thing I have decided to do as well is, I think I'm going to turn these around so that the fronts are on the path. So it means I can use this path then when I'm loading in, and then I can also use all this space around here then, rather than using this as a path to access these. I may as well just use the communal path that's already here. That means I've got an extra triangle bed here to grow in. So I've spoke to Tony O'Neill and we've confirmed that this will be done the start of March at the latest. So at least there'll be a nice new cover on it, tight as a drum, and then the plans for inside there. So much work, but it'll be worth it. It'll be worth it. So all I'm doing here now is I'm cutting off really old woody branches, like so. I'm giving it a good bit of fresh life, you know. You don't want damaged branches. This one's completely dead, so it'll go all the way down to new growth. Don't cut off too much, but give it a nice shape. And also with the gooseberries, leave the centre open like a crown, so it looks similar to this. And then that'll give it good airflow and also prevents you from sawflies coming in and infesting that plant and just eradicating it. So do it now and you have to worry about it later on. So most of these have already been pruned really well by myself. However, see, this gooseberry bush is very much condensed in the middle. So all you do is go in without hurting yourself, cutting out all the middle. So all that growth in the middle is gone. There's an open space here now. And that way, you'll have a good amount of fruit. And also, there's another little tip for it as well, is because you've taken out the middle, you can come in here and you can harvest all the berries here without damaging yourself with all these little nasty spikes. So figs can also be pruned now as well, but because this is a new tree to me, and it looks quite decent to be honest, it's been pruned, you know, really well. The only one that I've taken off is down here. There's a new shoot that's pointing upwards, and I've cut off this one here because this one was rubbing up against this branch here. Now I might have even considered cutting that all the way back to here, but because there's a fig there, I haven't got the heart to do it. So I'm going to leave this branch for now, and hopefully it won't cause too much problems. When I did some work on this area about a month ago, it's quite apparent that it's rotted here and it's rotted here. So I'm going to have to replace this part of the bed. This seems really solid, but this part doesn't. So I'm going to have to do a bit of DIY on this in the spring for sure. But luckily there's nothing in that bed at the moment, so it's not going to disturb it. Like I showed before, garlic is looking lovely now. It did sulk through the frost, but it's warmed up this last week or two, so it's looking all right. It's looking okay. So are the onions. I need another weed through here now. And yeah, it's coming along. It's coming along now for sure. Right, let's get back to the grapevine. Finish off my jobs down there. I got a bit of a cold coming, so I hope not anyway, but I know a few of you last week commented that I just had a jumper on. And I don't tend to feel the cold that much. I've got a jumper on today and a coat, but you know, I'm sure I'll be fine. I'd also like to say thanks for everyone who views my channel and is subscribing at the moment, all the new and old subscribers. You know, I'm grateful for you all. And also to my 5 members that have actually joined my channel to support it, and by subscribing they've donated a small amount that is buying things for the plot and the garden, and yeah, it's pushing the channel through. But so thank you all of you, viewers, subscribers, members, commenters, anyone that helps this channel. So thank you very much. Job done. So a few weeks back I did show you the plot that Nigel left, and someone's already taken it over already. And let me show you what they've done already. They've cleared it off, and how lucky they are to just walk onto a plot in this much good condition. I mean, look at it, it's set up already. Polytunnel greenhouse, fruit trees, fruit cage, and beds already prepared, ready for spring. They've been well fed, so they're so lucky, and they also get a shed. How lucky are they? Then there was someone like me and you, brambles, car tyres, rubbish, bathtubs, bunk beds, you name it, I had it on my plot, and I'm sure you had the same. We're not all that lucky, so yeah, but look at it now. I can't complain. It was well worth all the hard work. It was worth it. I'm really happy now that I'm ticking all the jobs off slowly but surely. We're getting there. We are getting there. I'm Danny, and this is the Grapevine Garden.